When I confronted my husband about his late nights, his mother defended him and said, if he needs comfort, he'll find it. A real wife wouldn't question him. The next day, my wedding photos were gone from the wall. When I checked our digital album, I saw dozens deleted, and replaced with ones I'd never seen that featured. I'm 39 years old. My name's Dana and I live just outside Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been married to my husband Nathan for 6 years. We don't have kids, though we were trying for the past 2. At least I thought we were. Nathan works as a mechanical engineer. He's always been a hands-on type. Big into fixing things, working late in the garage, watching sports. We have a little house with a big backyard, 2 dogs, and what I used to think was a good life. Lately, something changed. He started coming home later and later. First once in a while. Then almost every other day. Always the same story. Working late, problem at the shop, or one of the new guys messed up a design and I had to fix it. I believed him for a while. I didn't want to be that wife. I cooked dinner, waited up, texted him now and then just to check. Sometimes he answered. Sometimes not. His excuses started getting sloppy. One night he told me he was at the shop late, but I called his coworker by mistake thinking I was calling someone else, and the guy said Nathan left hours ago. I didn't say anything right away. I needed to be sure. One night he came home at 1 a.m. I was sitting in the living room in the dark. Lights off. Dogs were asleep. The garage door opened, and I sat there completely still. He came in, whistling. Whistling. He dropped his keys in the little bowl by the door and walked toward the kitchen. I flipped on the light. He jumped like I scared the hell out of him. Then he rolled his eyes. Nate, I said, calm but firm. Where were you? He blinked. What? I told you, no, you didn't. You didn't say anything about working tonight. He shrugged. Well, I was. Where? Shop. I stared at him. He wouldn't even look at me. Nathan, I said slowly, what's going on? You're never home. You barely talk to me. I just want the truth. He let out this annoyed sigh, like I was some burden. Jesus, Dana. Why are you always like this? I'm working. I provide. I come home. What more do you want? I want my husband back. He shook his head and walked into the kitchen without another word. The next day, his mother showed up. Uninvited. She let herself in like she owned the place. No knock. No warning. She put a container of banana bread on the counter like this was some sweet visit, then turned and looked at me like I was dirt on her shoe. You don't question a man like Nathan, she said. He works hard. He carries the weight. If he needs comfort, he'll find it. I stared at her, stunned. Excuse me? A real wife supports her husband. Doesn't accuse him. Doesn't push him. That's why men stray. I didn't even know what to say. I just stood there while she made herself a coffee and acted like she hadn't just told me it was my fault if Nathan was cheating. She left after about 10 minutes. I didn't say a word the whole time. That night, Nathan didn't come home. No text. No call. Nothing. The next morning, I walked into the hallway and froze. Our wedding photos were gone. All of them. Frames still there, but empty. Just blank walls and hooks. I ran to the living room. Same thing. Gone. I felt sick. I went straight to our home office and opened the digital album we kept. It was a shared drive. It had all our wedding photos. I clicked through. Dozens were gone. Deleted. Then I saw the new ones. At first I thought it was some kind of glitch. Same venue. Same lighting. Same decorations. Same dress. But it wasn't me. There was a woman in my dress. My veil. Holding Nathan's hands. Kissing him under the arch. I zoomed in. She had red hair. I'd never seen her before in my life. Nathan looked happy. Like nothing was wrong. I checked the file names. They'd been uploaded the night before. I sat there, hand over my mouth, trying not to throw up. And then I remembered something. That dress, my dress, was in the attic. Or at least I thought it was. I climbed the stairs, pulled down the ladder, and opened the storage box. It was empty. The dress was gone. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the office, staring at the computer screen, clicking through photo after photo of my husband with this woman in my dress, at my wedding venue, smiling like none of it mattered. I kept thinking maybe it was photoshopped. Some kind of sick prank. But the details were too real. The way he held her. The way he looked at her. I went through every corner of that album. Our honeymoon folder was untouched. Old pictures from our vacations were still there. But the wedding folder? It had been completely redone. Like someone had gone in, erased my part of history, and swapped me out with her. And he thought I wouldn't notice? The next morning, I called the bridal boutique where I bought my dress 6 years ago. I asked if anyone had recently brought in a dress to get altered, one that matched my exact style. The woman on the phone hesitated, then said, "We actually had one just last week, yes, but I'm not sure I can give out customer information." I begged her. Told her I wasn't trying to start trouble, I just needed to know if it was a red-haired woman. She paused again, then quietly said, "Yes." She had long red hair. Very specific about matching the hemline to a 6-year-old design. I thanked her and hung up, my hands shaking. I wasn't crazy. Someone took my dress. Someone had pictures taken with my husband. I needed answers. Nathan came home later that night like nothing happened. Like he hadn't been gone for 2 days. I didn't say anything right away. I watched him take off his boots, toss his jacket over the chair, pour himself a drink. Then I asked, "Where's my wedding dress?" He paused, just for a second. Then turned around slow. "What?" "You heard me." He didn't answer. So I stood up. "And who's the woman in the photos you uploaded? The ones in my wedding folder?" He blinked, looked away, then said, "It's none of your business." I laughed. I couldn't believe it. "You're my husband. You used our wedding photos. Of course it's my business." Then he snapped. "You're just bitter because you're boring now," he said, straight-faced. "You let yourself go. You're obsessed with things that don't matter. You never supported me. You were just there." I stared at him, my whole body frozen. Like I'd been punched in the chest. Then he added, "At least she listens to me." I felt like I couldn't breathe. I didn't cry. Not right away. I just turned around and went upstairs. That night I didn't sleep again. The next day, I packed a bag and left. I stayed with my sister, Lauren, in Kalamazoo. I didn't tell her the whole story at first. I just said I needed time. But once I told her everything, she nearly lost it. "He stole your wedding? That's not just cheating, that's psycho." I agreed. I felt like I was in a nightmare. Then she showed me something I didn't expect. She pulled up Facebook. "Have you seen this?" It was a photo of Nathan and the redhead. Posted by his mother. Caption said, "So proud of Nathan for finally finding the love he deserves. What a beautiful couple." And the comments were even worse. People congratulating them. Saying they looked meant to be. One even said, "Glad he moved on from that moody wife. She never fit in anyway." I clicked on the woman's profile. Her name was Sabrina. Mutual friends with Nathan's mom. She worked at a dentist's office about 10 minutes from his job. I kept digging. She wasn't just a random fling. She'd been around for months. Maybe longer. There were pictures of her and Nathan at a Halloween party last year. She dressed as a bride. He was a groom. That was the theme. And I never knew. I sat on my sister's couch, staring at that Facebook post over and over like it would somehow change if I blinked enough. Nathan's mother had written, "So proud of Nathan for finally finding the love he deserves." Like I was never real. Like I didn't stand in front of 120 people 6 years ago and say vows with him. Like I hadn't spent years building a life with this man, only to be erased and replaced like I was nothing. I wanted to scream. Instead, I started gathering everything I could. Screenshots, emails, photos, timestamps, anything that proved what was going on. Because this wasn't just betrayal. This felt calculated. I logged into our joint bank account and saw something that made my stomach twist. 2 charges to a photography studio, one 2 weeks ago, and another from about a month earlier. I recognized the name. It was the same company we used for our wedding. Same photographer. I found the old invoice. Same person. I called the number. A woman named Ashley picked up. I told her I was calling about a recent photo shoot involving a red-haired woman in a wedding dress and a man named Nathan. She got quiet. "I'm sorry, I can't give out client, I'm his wife," I said flatly. "Not ex-wife." There was a pause. Then she said, "Oh. My God. I had no idea." Ashley confirmed they'd done a session at a private venue. Nathan had told her it was a renewal of vows with a new partner after a difficult divorce. He claimed I had left him 2 years ago and moved across the country. I asked if she still had the raw photos. She did. I gave her my lawyer's email address. I didn't have a lawyer yet, but I found one real quick. Back in Grand Rapids, Nathan was still living in the house. I didn't go back, not right away. I couldn't. But I did start making moves. Legal ones. I filed for divorce. And not just that, I had my lawyer submit a motion to freeze our shared assets. Turns out, Nathan had pulled $8,000 from our savings over the last 3 months. For work tools. That was the memo on the transfers. But when I tracked it down, the money went toward a venue rental, the dress alterations, and, unbelievably, an engagement ring. The ring wasn't for me. The same ring was on Sabrina's finger in one of the newer photos on Facebook. You could tell Nathan didn't even bother changing up styles, he picked almost the same ring he gave me 6 years ago. When Nathan got the notice from my lawyer, he texted me. All caps, "What the hell are you doing? This isn't how adults handle things." Then another, "You left. You abandoned the marriage. You don't get to take everything." I didn't respond. Instead, I sent screenshots to my lawyer of every text, every message, every bank transaction, and the photo of Sabrina wearing my dress. A few days later, my sister called me into the living room. "You need to see this," she said, holding out her phone. Someone had posted in the neighborhood Facebook group. It was a photo of Nathan outside our house, well, my house, arguing with a process server. Someone had filmed the whole thing from their porch. He tried to snatch the papers out of the server's hands. Called him a parasite. Yelled something about how his fake wife was trying to ruin him. That video started making the rounds fast. And then came the twist I didn't see coming. A message from a woman I didn't recognize. Her name was Kelsey. She said, "I don't know you, but I think we should talk. I've dated Nathan before. And something about your story sounds familiar." I responded. Turns out, Kelsey dated Nathan 7 years ago, before we met. She told me he had a pattern, love bombing, moving fast, isolating women from friends, then slowly turning cold. Then cheating. She said she caught him once recycling old photos with new girlfriends. Literally posing in the same spots, doing the same things, just with different women. She even sent me one. It was Nathan on a hiking trail, kissing a woman under a waterfall. I had the exact same photo in my own album, with me in it. Different woman. Same pose. Same trip. Same date in the photo metadata. He duplicated it. I was sick. How many women had he done this to? Kelsey said she left after he tried to convince her she was imagining things and too emotional. She ended it. But he told people she was the one who couldn't handle a real man. That's when it all clicked. Nathan had never been stable. He just looked stable. Quiet guy, good job, nice house. But underneath it, he was hollow. A performer. A man who created images of love instead of doing the real work. He didn't just cheat. He replaced people like sets in a play. And now he was mad that this time, the script changed on him. I knew if I wanted to end this right, I had to go all the way. Quietly disappearing wasn't enough. People like Nathan don't stop unless they're exposed. I didn't want revenge just to feel better. I wanted the truth to be louder than his lies. So I planned carefully. My lawyer helped me get a court order to recover all digital property. That meant our shared online albums, the hard drives in our office, the backup files from the photographer, everything. And once we had it, I had a tech friend help me do something Nathan didn't expect. We restored everything. The original wedding photos. Our video. The proposal video. All the emails from the venue and photographer, all dated, all addressed to me. I even had receipts for my dress, my shoes, the cake. All with my name. I compiled a digital timeline showing how he replaced me photo by photo, lie by lie. I took that timeline and sent it, anonymously, to every person who had commented congrats on his fake wedding photos on Facebook. I attached a message that said, before you celebrate a man's second wedding, make sure he actually ended the first one. I didn't stop there. Nathan worked at a mid-sized engineering firm. I knew his company had a strict code of ethics, especially around public image. I sent a copy of the photo timeline and the full report to their HR department. Why? Because he had used sick days and company funds to fly Sabrina out to a conference in Ohio last month. Claimed it was work. I had the credit card statements to prove it wasn't. He was let go 2 weeks later. Not immediately. Quietly. But I got the confirmation through a friend of a friend who still worked there. They didn't want the bad press. They just wanted him gone. His reputation started to crumble. People stopped commenting on his photos. Some deleted their likes. I heard from someone who knew Sabrina's cousin, apparently she hadn't known the full truth either. She found out he wasn't actually divorced when he proposed. She broke it off. Took the ring. And this is where it gets really good. Remember the wedding photos he faked with her in my dress? Those weren't legally binding. It was all a performance. He told Sabrina they'd make it official in a small courthouse thing later, but that never happened. She found out. She was furious. And she wasn't quiet about it. She posted a long, brutal breakup post on Instagram. I thought I was engaged to a good man. Turns out I was wearing another woman's dress, standing in another woman's place, in a life that wasn't mine. I'm ashamed. And I'm done. She tagged his mom in it. And added, you helped him lie. Eleanor, the woman who told me a real wife doesn't question her husband, deleted her social media 2 days later. But I wasn't done. The house. It was still legally mine too. The mortgage was in both our names, but he hadn't paid his half in months. My lawyer filed a motion, and we requested a forced sale. Since he'd drained our savings, I argued financial misconduct, and I won. He had to move out. I showed up on moving day. Quiet. Calm. He saw me and tried to smirk. You happy now? He asked. You ruined my life. I looked him dead in the eye. No, Nathan. You did that all by yourself. I just made sure everyone saw it. He stood there, jaw clenched, holding a half-packed box of his tools. For once, he didn't have anything to say. And I walked away. I sold the house. Got a good offer, too. Used my half to move to Traverse City, closer to the lake. I got a small cottage, a new job working remotely for a nonprofit, and slowly, I started building something real. Therapy helped. A lot. I had to own my part, not in his cheating, but in how long I let myself ignore the gut feelings. I stopped pretending things were fine just to keep peace. That's something I work on every day. As for Nathan? Last I heard, he was living in a rental with roommates. Can't hold a steady job. Word got around about what he did, not just to me, but to Sabrina, to Kelsey, and probably others. Nobody wants a liar who builds relationships like stage sets. And Eleanor? Cut off from both of us. Sabrina's family called her out too. She thought she could control everything with her smug little comments. Now she's got no daughter-in-law to show off, no perfect son, and nobody answering her calls. I didn't win by being cruel. I won by staying quiet, being smart, and making sure the truth did the talking. I didn't just survive him. I erased him right back. And I kept the dress. Not because I want it. But because it's mine. And now it sits in a box in my new attic. Not a symbol of loss, but proof that I was there. That it happened. And that I came out stronger.